Russia launched missile and drone strikes on Ukraine's Odesa region early on December 20th. Attacks targeted port infrastructure including grain terminals at Kornomorsk and a key bridge over the Irklia River. 1 person died, 6 were injured. Explosions caused fires at export facilities. These hits disrupt Ukraine's vital Black Sea grain exports, already limited by a Russian naval blockade. Odesa handles much of Ukraine's food shipments to the world. The strikes follow recent escalations, worsening food security globally. Ukraine's Air Force downed 88 of 95 projectiles. Officials condemned the attacks as terror. President Zelensky reported damage to energy sites too. No immediate Russian comment. Tensions rise as winter sets in. The Pentagon announced President Trump's nomination of Lieutenant General Donovan to head U.S. Southern Command. Southern Command oversees military operations in Latin America and the Caribbean. Donovan, a career Army officer, previously served in special operations and key roles focused on the region. This nomination fits Trump's push to strengthen U.S. security in the Western Hemisphere amid concerns over migration, drugs, and regional threats. Southern Command coordinates with allies on counter-narcotics and disaster response. The Senate must confirm Donovan before he takes the post. No further details on the timeline emerged yet. Past nominees face Senate reviews on policy views. This move signals priorities for the administration's defense strategy. Sharif Osman Hadi, 32, a key youth leader from 2024 uprising against PM Sheikh Hasina, was shot in the head by masked gunmen on December 12 in Dhaka while starting his election campaign. He got treatment locally, then airlifted to Singapore, where he died on December 18 after 6 days on life support. Police named suspect Faisalim Masood from Hasina's party wing. He is at large with reward offered. His death caused riots in Dhaka and other cities, with crowds burning politicians' homes, attacking Prodam Alo and Daily Star newspapers, and other sites. One man, Dipendra Das, was killed in separate mob violence over blasphemy claims. Interim leader Muhammad Yunus called it irreparable loss, declared mourning day, urged no violence. Security forces deployed nationwide ahead of funeral prayers and February elections. UN called for calm. Rights groups condemned attacks on media freedom. Hasina, in exile in India, faces backlash. Protests include anti-India chants blaming her network. U.S. forces launched Operation Hawkeye Strike, hitting over 70 ISIS infrastructure and weapons sites in central Syria including Deir-ez-Zor, Raqqa, and near Palmyra. They used F-15/F-16 jets, A-10 aircraft, AH-64 Apache helicopters, and HIMARS artillery, firing over 100 precision munitions. Jordanian F-16s joined from southern Syria. This followed a December 13 ISIS ambush near Palmyra that killed 2 Iowa National Guard soldiers and 1 U.S. civilian interpreter. The strikes avenged U.S. losses and aimed to dismantle ISIS capabilities amid ongoing threats. Prior operations since the attack killed or arrested about 23 insurgents and destroyed weapons caches. U.S. kept 1,000 troops in Syria for counterterrorism with partners like Syrian Democratic Forces. Syrian government under Ahmad al-Shara supported the action and fights ISIS. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth called it a declaration of vengeance. President Trump said it was highly successful and reestablishes peace through strength. Syrian Observatory reported at least 5 ISIS deaths, including a drone leader. No U.S. casualties reported, more strikes possible. China's Special Envoy for Asian Affairs, Deng Xijun, visited Phnom Penh this week to help Cambodia and Thailand end their border fighting. Clashes started December 7 over disputed areas, killing over 52 people, more than July's 50 deaths. Thai and Cambodian troops exchanged fire. Both accused the other of starting it. The border was mapped by France in 1907 when Cambodia was part of Indochina. The conflict harmed civilians and ASEAN solidarity. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi spoke by phone with both foreign ministers on December 17. They said they want to cease fire. China acts as a bridge, distressed by casualties, and sent the envoy for shuttle diplomacy after earlier mediation. Thailand seized Chinese-made missiles from Cambodia, but China says defense ties are unrelated. Both nations welcome talks. Past July clashes ended via China, US, and others. Envoy pushes dialogue to stop hostilities, rebuild trust, and protect projects. No ceasefire date set yet. Ukraine's President Zelensky and Portugal's PM Luis Montenegro signed a deal on December 20 for joint production of Ukrainian Sea drones, or USVs. Montenegro visited Kiev for his first official trip. Ukraine proved these drones work well against Russian warships and submarines. The pact boosts Ukraine's defense output and helps Portugal protect Europe from sea threats. It follows a May 2024 10-year security agreement where Portugal pledged military aid. Portugal also backs NATO's list to buy U.S. weapons for Ukraine and gave $702,000 for energy support. Zelensky noted Portugal's help rebuilding schools in Chernihiv and Cherkasy, plus €90 billion EU guarantee. Zelensky warned Russia's aims go beyond Ukraine, rejecting land-only peace deals. The sides honored fallen soldiers. This deepens NATO ties and maritime defense. Iran hanged Ago Keshavarz early December 20, 2025, at Urmia prison. The 27-year-old student from Isfahan was arrested in spring 2025 while photographing a military site in Urmia, 600 kilometers northwest of Tehran. Judiciary outlet Mizan said he spied for Mossad and Israeli army, ran over 200 missions across cities like Tehran, shared info online, got crypto payments, and confessed. Supreme Court upheld death sentence after Revolutionary Court trial by Judge Sajjad Dusti. Family had final visit December 17. He was in solitary before execution. This is the 18th execution for Israel ties in 2025, 16 since June's 12-day war where Israel hit Iranian nuclear/military sites and Iran fired missiles killing 28 in Israel. Rights groups like Henga, Iran Human Rights say torture forced confessions in IRGC detention. He was held in Urmia, Evan, back to Urmia. Part of intimidation policy during tensions. Pope Leo XIV announced a consistory for January 7 to 8, 2026, right after the Holy Year closes on January 6. All cardinals worldwide must attend this consultative meeting in Rome. Leo, elected May 8, 2025, as first American pope, spent early months on Holy Year duties and Francis unfinished tasks. Unlike Francis, who used a small C9 council, Leo revives full consistory for governance input on synodality, communion, liturgy. No canonizations or new cardinals, pure advice session. Marks shift to Leo's agenda amid vacant curia posts. Vatican stresses prayer, support for Pope's role. Over 250 cardinals expected, signals broader collegiality. Chinese companies supply surveillance systems to Nepal, monitoring Tibetan refugees. Kathmandu has dense CCTV networks with facial recognition and AI tracking from Hikvision, Dehua, Uniview, Hidra. Nepal police links cameras to control rooms near Chinese embassy. China donated $5.5 million radio network, trained officers. U.S. tech from HP, Motorola helped build these firms. Nepal once refuge for Tibetans fleeing 1959 uprising, now border hardened with China's Great Wall of Steel. Fences, sensors, drones overlooking paths. Predictive policing flags protests on Dalai Lama dates. China pressures removal of his photos, monitors dissidents fearing Tibet abuse exposure. Nepal bought over Western options for cost. Tibetans self-censor, communities suffocate under watch. China exports to 150-plus countries as cheap policing tool, extending control abroad amid global influence push. EU leaders approved a €90 billion loan package for Ukraine on December 19 during a Brussels summit. The loan uses future interest from €300 billion in frozen Russian central bank assets, but no final deal exists on principal used due to legal hurdles from US, UK, others. Ukraine's PM Denis Shmyhal hailed it as crucial support for defense and economy. This comes amid Ukraine's push for more aid as Russian advances continue. The package builds on prior €50 billion G7 loan from asset profits. Talks on assets stuck since March. EU holds most funds. Zelensky team eyes full seizure. Loan terms, low interest, long repayment via assets. No immediate dispersal date set.
If this video added value, please like it. Share it if you think it may help others. And subscribe to stay informed with our future posts.